Can I ask the Democratic Party something? Who's paying y'all? And I'm talking to the constituents. I'm not talking to the government because I will get to that. But who is paying y'all to be on their dick so hard? Like, can y'all let come on? Okay. Well, okay. Let me do that. That's stereotypical. Let's hope we can sync this in post. Still learning, still figuring this whole thing out. But anyways, hello. Welcome to my space. I don't know. We'll figure this out as we go, but ultimately this is a platform and a moment in existence where we can come together and speak on the happenings, however, wherefore they lead us. I have a lot of thoughts, I have a lot of opinions, and the way that the day goes, like, they are often suppressed. I don't get to share them with the people. But I feel like in my head, when I'm going off, I'm like, I'm making plenty sense. I think plenty of folks would agree with the things that I have to say, but like, it takes time. So, speaking on the things that I want to speak about today, on today's topic, I'd like to discuss authenticity. What sparked this conversation specifically is all the chatter I've been hearing about in regards to Lord, I don't even know her name. Like Chappelle Roan, Chapel Roan. Yes. Listen, I haven't really listened. I've heard a few of her songs. I think it's cute. I like the beat. But I don't know, too much tea about her, but I respect her as an artist in her craft. That's what I'll say. Um, and I see sometimes how quickly we will put people on a pedestal just so we can tear them down just as fast. I think it's weird that because what we yearn for in my view, what we want in art, and that's why AI, like, things are so soulless. So, we yearn for that authenticity, that thing that makes you like you. It's almost like an it factor, but it's just like whoever you are, like, you as an individual have something that is special about you, whether you know it or not. And when you learn how to tap into that through your artistry, through your, like labor, whatever that, like, however it comes out of you, that is beautiful. And you can sell it if it's, free marketplace. That's how it works now in the system. So Chapel Roan is now a newfound, I think she's like in her mid 20s and she's just now getting famous. And I see people tearing her down because she was like, there's issues on both sides of the political party and I don't know who to vote for. Can I ask the Democratic Party something? Who's paying y'all? Like, and I'm talking to the constituents. I'm not talking to the government because I will get to that. But who is paying y'all to be on their dick so hard? Like, can y'all let come on? Like, she can take a little heat, okay? I've seen this woman argue. She can handle herself. Y'all don't need to fight and die for these people that I'm sorry. Listen, we can talk about privilege and being able, like, trust and believe. I understand what is at stake, but that does not mean we ignore. I mean, where is the room for nuance? That's all I'm asking. And I get it, like, oh, there's a way to say things, blah, blah, blah. Here's my point on that. So, okay, this is where I get irritated. Y'all say you want authenticity. Y'all say you want truth. Y'all say you want something raw, something real. But the second someone gives it, you shame them out of existence for it. And then now you got them questioning. You see how she backing out of her tours and people are getting even more mad. I'm like, well, it is literally a cycle of your own creating. What do you expect? How, I don't understand, like, you want people to be people, and then you get mad at them for being a person. What does that say about you? And that's all I'm saying. Even about the Democratic Party. Oh, yeah, look, come on, we got to do this for our rights. Some of y'all couldn't care less about the rights of anybody. The fact that you have time to sit on Twitter and talk, like, please. The rest of us out here working. Rest of us out here on these streets. People are dying. People are getting bombed. And listen, I don't know what choice I'm making in the. I do. I don't know. Me ultimately, I know, like, I'm going to exercise. I feel like I'm going to exercise my right to vote and vote for Kamala Harris. But I have the right as an individual, and okay, we'll get to that. As an individual in this country, I have the fundamental right to make that decision as I see fit. And y'all talk about, oh, we love women, we support women, we work so hard for women to have rights. You tear down this woman who is expressing that she is going through her own personal struggles at this huge platform that's just been thrown into her hands about what to say about it. Like, I just don't understand the way y'all tear down people sometimes. And all for the sake of what? Oh, be like, what are you demanding? What do you think you deserve out of anybody? Like, please. And what is it that you're not getting? Why are we looking at these people to be like, oh, we need you to. I guess they are the ones with the most influence nowadays. Not even just so much celebrities, but also influencers, obviously. They have so much power nowadays. They have so much say over what, like, the style that sets the tone. Even we see, like, with this whole BBL era and blah, 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 like, it is interesting to behold. Like, and everybody has their theories about what plastic surgery does to someone, but I feel like nobody is calling it what I think it is, and it's body dysmorphia. The more you change your body, I can even see, like, I don't know, I've had my own. Every person, individual has their relationship with their body, and our body changes. That's just what happens as we age, period. You can't run away from it. You can't deny it. That's just life. So over that time, as I notice my body changes and things happen, like, sometimes in my eyes, I look the same, and it's confusing to think that you exist differently than you perceive yourself. Now, imagine you add that to actively changing the human body. And if you have enough money, you can do it on a very consistent, quick basis. People don't even have enough money. They are so desperate for what? To be accepted by who? And that's a response. It is a task, a burden, that we as women have no choice but to unpack. Like, I don't want to say what a woman should do with her body and what, surgery she can and cannot get. Like, again, I fully believe in personal autonomy. Okay. I believe is it controversial to say that every single individual being that is, like, exist on this earth deserves, like, the right to autonomy? And so far as, we I'm trying not to get into, like, some philosophical theory here, but all I'm just saying is, like, people have the right to exist as long as you're not, like, actively harming anybody. And we can go into the harm principle. That's a conversation for another day. But, like, on a very basic, like, notion, I feel like we can all understand that. Where was I going with this? There's so much to unpack. There's so much to think about always, all the time. And it's like social media, pop culture is such an interesting, like, and I'm careful not to name too many names when I talk about what I see because, again, people are people. The internet really has a way of, like, dehumanizing every interaction. Every interaction is just so, like, I don't know, just off, y'all. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but this is why, I just talk. I have to talk to someone. These thoughts just stay in my head most of the time, or I just talk to myself. That's underrated. Underrated. Like, how you not gonna get to? How else do you get to know yourself other than talking to yourself? Like, please, I don't care. I don't care how it sounds, but on the concept of, like, okay, going back to the topic of, like, body dysmorphia, you know, when you're changing your body faster than your body can like recognize the differences that it's making, you go through a little bit of a crisis. That's what nobody recognizes. And that it happens through like rapid weight loss with all these tools, all these pills. Like I even look at like, you know, 2000s media. I was just like a kid growing up in the 2000s. I praise God that I wasn't sentient to observe what was happening with women in the 2000s, because yes, we kind of idolize the, well, and I'll make a point soon, but like we idolize the 90s, thousands like era of like, you know, that vibe of like club, like we just out free, no media, so you could just be a freak in the club and nobody can see. But it was a vibe, certainly. Even the music was better. It's just a different time. But also like, yo, the standards, the body standards, it's in the black community too, but in my observation, it is something different in the white community. When do y'all want to unpack that? I try not to speak too much about other communities, but the white community be making they shit our problem because they try to impose that same standard on you. Listen, my body will never like do that. Like y'all are a little different. And I could stand tall and say that. I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to do all that. Sorry. But you know, say, I just think that the way we differentiate ourselves and what we define as beauty, built like in this culture, is very heavily based on what white people define as beauty. It has nothing to do with what different cultures, you know. But for me, I'm like, beauty is beauty is beauty. You can say that this is what the perfect standard is. Shut up. I'm gonna do. And that's what every human being, like, you know, I know the phrase like beauty is in the eye of the beholder is like corny, and but also I think it's weird how nobody wants to address the fact that yes, you will find people ugly. That is a fact. You know, I think everybody to accept like, yeah, you're ugly to someone is hard. So everybody wants to be that person like, no, nobody thinks you're ugly. Nobody thinks you, everybody thinks you're perfect. Girl, like please, even the most perfect people are insecure as fuck because, you know, and I don't want to put that on everybody because insecurities, I don't know how we get on in these topics, but we gonna keep going. Insecurities, right? You can have them. We all have them. You know, we're all human. And the way that, you know, this society literally likes to take note of the things that make us feel less than, put it on a platter and regurgitate it back to us uh, um, for a price, with a price tag on it. You can get rid of this insecurity for this amount. If you have this amount of money, you can get rid of this. Honestly, girl, it's just gonna get worse if you don't address the root issue. And the thing is, they do it with things that are literally natural. Again, like your body changing. First of all, as you get older, like women, like this is one of my thing is I'm noticing as I'm getting older, literally my body is changing. Again, I'm just aging, and I'm like in a good way too. You know, it's not all terrible. It's like I'm glad like to just witness it is kind of like a unique process and like learning that, you know. All my girls like who know, you know, and all the ones that don't, I hope you do one day, you know. But like our bodies change. They don't, we sometimes your body like at 19 or at like 17, at 15, it looks weird. Yeah, that's because you're not in like your woman body yet. Like you're still literally developing. And you do that all the way through your 20s, girl. People will attest like the second puberty you go through in your mid 20s. And if you did all this work before you even get a chance to watch your body develop, and not even just that, even like we see Kiki Palmer who came out with a whole new body after she had a baby. Look at the things that are natural in like female evolution that literally make us more beautiful, more empowered, blah blah blah. Like we as women have been taught so hard, like and literally shoved back, regurgitated back to us, like pay for this, so that you don't have to age, you don't have to get older. Bitch, you're still going to get old. You're still going to look older. I'm sorry to tell you. What is so like, oh my god, that's so terrible. People are dying. Is there any other way to say that? And it's these same people who will have a 20 step skincare that want to tell me and stand on a moral high ground to me when they talk about where I should vote and who I should vote. Listen, I'm not saying that it's bad to take care of yourself, but like, can we have a little bit of perspective and say like, okay, not everybody's experience is my experience. Like, shut up for a second. That's all. And look, I'm just a bitch talking, telling you to shut up. Yeah, because I feel like we can learn a lot more from each other if we just like give everybody the opportunity to speak. And as someone who has been spoken over many a time and not even given the opportunity to process before I can say what I need to say, it is frustrating to see the current state of, the society, the economy, the political, socio-economic events like are just rough right now. It's looking kind of chaotic. And it's not even just in the US, okay? I am a Nigerian woman, okay? I see what is going on in my country. We talk about Nigerian Independence Day just passed by, right? October 1st. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, Nigerian independence, but I'm like, I see it on social media too, which was like really humbled me too. It's like there's literally people in Nigeria, they don't feel the independence. I think about my family still there right now. The suffering that is happening, it's different. And it's not just Nigeria, it's Ghana. What is it? Hashtag stop Galamancy. Listen, my pronunciation isn't perfect, but I these causes are important too. Congo, what's going on in Congo? The protests in Kenya. What's going the literally the humanitarian crisis going on in Sudan. Like there's so much. The unemployment crisis in South Africa, bro. They literally are doing everything. And meanwhile, we literally everything we have in this Western society banks on the fact that southern, those impoverished nations stay poor so that we can use them, rape them of their resources, all their, everything they have to offer, and keeping them impoverished while we use it for our lights, our cameras, our action. And you have the audacity to tell me how to vote. I don't know. It's like, can you shut up for a second? I get like that. It's just frustrating because it's like I understand what you're saying about, oh, there's a proper way to say it. I've seen like people talking like that, and it's like, shut up. And I'm not trying to tell women how to talk, but literally that's what you're doing. I'm like, we love to pass misogyny off however we want to pass it off, but like there are so many men y'all could have gathered and collected right now, by now, for not speaking up. But this woman, lesbian at that, allegedly. I don't know. I shouldn't like say because I don't even know their pronouns and like everything. But like I think so. Don't quote me. And we can respect each other in that way. I don't think, as long as you're not malicious, everybody that I've encountered, these people who like to, because okay, I understand I'm getting on the Democrats today, but right, like all these, like the crazies are not, no shade, no tea, but like some of y'all really got, like, you have psychosis going on, you need some help, that's, but it's like, to like tear down each other for the sake of just feeling like you're higher than one another. Meanwhile, we fighting for crumbs again. Like I should put up a meme about this too. It's like we are fighting for crumbs, and the people in charge literally have billions that and they're laughing. They have the whole cake, the whole pie, and we are fighting over these crumbs. And I'm like, I fear we have better things to do. In my theory, I don't know. It's not everybody. And even just watching the debates that have been happening, it's certainly intriguing. I can even bring myself to watch the VP debate. Like, here's the thing. Donald Trump is unrehearsed, unsubstantial, and a bit illiterate in my observation of him. Kamala, I know, pronunciation. Kamala Harris, period. She is very poised, very great in the art of debate. Obviously, she's a lawyer, prosecutor at that. Like, yeah, she did that. She did that. And I do have a level of respect for her. I can't deny it that I don't have for Trump, which is why I'm voting the way I'm voting. That's just period. But still, it's not that I don't notice actively where people are asking her questions and she just dodging it left and right. Like, okay, it is not wrong for people to say that is shady. It is not wrong for people to be confused and for you to bash them for actively being like, not sure, like, what does that really do? Shaming someone to vote for something, like, what does that really encourage? That's not the society I want to live in. I want to vote for a politician because I am passionate about what the principles that they uphold, about the things that they honor. I don't just want to support someone because everybody's saying, like, oh, we should support this or do that. What are we literally? Is that where we've gotten to? I gotta do shit because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what everybody else is telling you to do. Just sit down, shut up, and get with the bandwagon. That's literally what we've gotten to. And we say we want people that don't do that, but then we punish anybody that does do that. It is hypocrisy. That's why y'all need more people that don't give a fuck. I shouldn't talk too much because no, we all do give a fuck, but like not too much. What? The internet isn't real. Sometimes people need to step back and realize that. It is how much, and just like everything is energy, how much you give it access to. Of course, there are real world repercussions ultimately when you do things that are just like literal crimes, literal like, like heinous acts. Like, please, of course, you're going to get your just desserts. But nonetheless, like the rest of us who are just doing what you want to do, like, you even see with cancel culture, actually black women were exempt from that. Like every time we talk about, oh, cancel culture doesn't work unless we're talking about black women. Black men too, black people, like people of color too, like we just don't have as much of a like getaway leash. We can't get away with as much. We gotta be perfect or else people will really want to tear you down, something vicious. I really need to do a whole video about what y'all did to Fanita because it really will never cease to amaze me how quickly y'all will be to like not give a black woman any inch of grace. I understand what people are saying. Of course, I always do. I'm pretty like understanding, but it's like when you kind of resort to some sort of savagery to get across your point, it's like, oh, did you mean what you were saying or did you just really want to say it? Do you feel me? Like, do you believe in what your point is or do you just hate me so intently that you love the fact that you can get one over on me? You feel me? Like, what it is to experience people literally treating you as subhuman because of what you look like and then transforming. We already talked about how that like your mind, like you don't actively see yourself the way that things are changing as you like it's complicated, the relationship we all have with our bodies. I feel like everybody can understand that, but then when you have a body that is literally in society, people are like, no, you don't even deserve to exist, and people are constantly treating you like that. And then you make that switch over, you're still dealing with the fact that you don't even realize your body has changed that much. And then people are treating you so differently. They're treating you like a human being. We talk about pretty privilege, and we can go on and on about that. Like, we can write a whole essay, a dissertation about that. But the ability to walk around and exist without your outward experience, like your outward appearance, inspiring some sort of like adverse reaction where people are literally like, oh, how dare you exist in my presence? Can you imagine that? Like, even, it's not even just like people in bigger bodies, people with darker skin, people with, all disabilities, homeless people. Like, it's all these different sectors where you are literally shamed, like, and you are made to feel like even you're just being there is like an upset. And we treat people like this and we normalize it. And then we gaslight the fuck out of them when they come out of it and they're like, why was y'all treating me like that though? Like, wasn't that kind of crazy? Like, and y'all are like, oh, shut up. Like, we love you now, right? Like, And some of y'all be treating like, even when people become pretty, when they become like, or just you perceive them as being better than you, you really do tear them down. It's easy to lift people up when you're like, oh, they nothing real anyways. Like, they're kind of okay, hyping up the ugly girl, great. But like when you see a bad bitch really just talk her shit, you have a problem with that. And I'm like, why? Somebody please tell me. Like, I'd love to, like, even just watching, again, pop culture, media, and this year has been something, y'all. It's a year of truth, a year of justice. Can I talk about what? P. Diddy? Okay, and that just gave way to mumblings about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Whole other thing. Listen, Beyonce, it's hard for me because her albums slap. Jay-Z, I will say, like, I never got the hype. Rap isn't my, yeah, maybe this is surprising to some people, but rap isn't my first, but like I can listen to the songs. I can listen to some of them, and I do get down. But Jay-Z, he was never one of them that I was like, ooh, it's bumping. I mean, I've only really heard the songs that he does with like features. In fact, I guess I haven't really, maybe one or two, maybe it's just not my generation, but still. Beyonce, she is dimensional, intergenerational. Like, she does her thing. She's going to be a legend. I just hope that her memory isn't tainted by some dark ass shit. Like P. Diddy's is clearly, like so many other, like, black artists. It's interesting to me, and you can't deny a pattern. You can't. It's like, why are all the black people going down for this? You telling me no other people in the entertainment industry is involved in this kind of debauchery? You telling me the original human traffickers like didn't have anything to do with this shit? Because we don't talk about what slavery was really getting down with, but I know what y'all was on. Okay? If anybody was the teachers, the masters, if you will, of that kind of game, it was y'all. And why aren't any of them going down for this? That's all I'm saying. I say this because it's not only P. Diddy, and I think of like Bill Cosby and the rest of them. Like, and we even hear about Dan Schneider. Where are the charges? Anyways, but like Eric Adams indicted. What the fuck? I was like, I never liked that slimy ass. And when he was going after the homeless again, people that do that type of stuff, it's always my clue in to be like, oh, okay. And people that look down on that, it's like, now I'm looking down. I'm looking twice at you because it's a human being is a human being. Hello? Can't we all agree on that? That's like, it is my issue with like the party system and the democratic system and, democratic system. Something's not adding up. I don't know. It's like, maybe this is wrong, but I got this from something that Dr. Umar said. I don't know how to, I need to do my research into Dr. Umar before I say that, how I feel about him as a figure, as a presence. Because listen, everybody, there's something to learn from everybody. And I don't take I take everything I hear with a pinch of salt. And that's what you should do with every information. Like, some people be throwing out, and I really do hate, I see even in some people I talk to in like friendships, like it's like y'all be believing in the first thing you see or hear on social media. It's like, wait, did you check that fact? Or did you just believe that the thing that you were watching on TikTok, on Twitter to grab your attention was telling you all of the facts and the complete truth? Oh, okay, so you're not an expert on this topic. Go and do your fucking research, then come back and talk and engage. Until then, don't act like you are the know-it-all in any conversation. Like, that's it. I try my best not to speak on things that I don't know too much about, and I try not to speak from a perspective that I don't have. I speak from my perspective, and I think it's a very useful one. Thank you. You can think what you want, but it's like, oh, I just hate that. Like, bro, hate is a strong word. Okay. It just irritates my soul to be like, oh, well, I think this because I know things. Who are you to even speak on it? And I think about, the Palestinian movement, how it's kind of lost steam. And it is a result of like people who want to put themselves at the forefront just for the clout, just to say like, oh, look at me, look, like, but you never cared, because if you did, you would shut your mouth on being involved in some petty fucking beef and really do what it is to get the movement's goals, the people's wishes done. I won't forget about the Palestinian people. That's a promise I will make, And it's the same where I talk about my African allies too. I talk about them first because it's like, listen, I'm African and I have that land has something to me, but I won't forget about the people all around the world. Black people are good at that. Black women are often commended for being good at that. But who has our back? Except for us. And I think I've seen a lot of like, this talk that's been going on since those two, British boys went on that white man's podcast and embarrassed themselves, And listen, again, I won't speak too much on people's character that I haven't met, but at the same hand, like, they embarrass themselves, you know? They know what we know, and what can you do? But the bigger topic at large was like the reaction of other people. Even the people that wanted to come out in support of black women faced backlash. There was something that, there was a man of color, who has a lot of like black female followers and black female support, who came out and was like, "Oh, listen, my mom always taught me, like, if you need help, find a black woman." And honestly, the first time I like watched the video, because I did like see it come up on my For You page, it was like, I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet to think like, yes, black women, like, and it's been my experience too, where it's like, I don't know, as a black woman, yes, black women are the core of the people that have supported me and taken care of me throughout my life. That's just how it has been for me. And that's how I took it as when he said it. But then I saw like the comments and the reaction, and it was like, oh, but like, I'm tired of wearing my cape, like please don't come and ask me for help. And at first I was like, I don't know why people are taking it like that. But then like you stop and think, and it's like, wait, why do we normalize like only giving, credence and giving flowers to black women for what they do for other people, for what they can do in service for you? Even like the black wife effect, black woman effect, like, yeah, okay, black girl magic, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look at what we can do with it, like, oh, great for you. Wonder where we got it from. Maybe it manifested because of all the pain that we have withstanded, being taught that we are less than, that we're worthless. For what? Trying to deny the very thing that you are now trying to say we're the best of, and saying that, but then still like trying to steal and copy the formula and paste it on to other people. And there are so many culture vultures, and that's the thing. The only reason a lot of black people are tolerated is because we're seen as entertainment. And I see it with the politicians even too, like Kamala Harris, like, she's really played into that, because that is what black people are known for, being the entertainers, even with their participation in sports, like, that's where we can be, and they can use us as that and like support us as that, but there's a line. And then with Kamala Harris, like, what she does with like, getting people, recruiting like celebrities and like rap artists and like, different, musicians and different, I don't know, like influencers, I guess, whoever it is, but mostly just like celebrities who can say like, yeah, Kamala. And it's very much like, a cultural thing that she's like playing into. You can't deny that. And I will say this with my whole chest: like a real full-blooded, like full-body black woman who is like authentically, or a black man too, we forget, like, or some people do that, both Barack and Kamala Harris are not monoracial black people, okay? And that is just the truth of it. And that is a factor in why they are able to, sit on those platforms and have achieved those titles. First black president, okay, but if they were really like the unmistakable, we all know the difference, come on. Like, we love the ethnically ambiguous folk, she is really good with them silk presses. But a nappy headed hoe, could they really run for president? I'm sorry, not hoe, but you get what I mean, and it's me too, girl, same. But it's like, this is where we place black women is very dependent, yeah, again, talking about how people exist in the context of all that which is created and which has came before you. Yeah, this system is built in a motherfucking way, like, and even we see like with creators and like YouTubers and all the rest, like, what you have to play into to make it to the top. Go back and watch my videos previously. I've only made a few. I'm still learning, I'm still working, but like on Mr. Beast and everything, it's like, I always knew that nigga was slimy. And I remember when people got mad at Jack fucking Septiceye for being like, hey, he ruined this shit. And I'm like, yeah. And I love, first of all, even if you don't agree with someone, can't you respect someone standing on business? That's how I feel, at least. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna say, you might as well say it with your motherfucking chest. I don't understand that soft shit. Just like say what you meant and like mean it. And you have every right to change your mind. I always hold my, like, you have every right to, in the words of Khadijah Mbawe, I hope I pronounced her name right, but like she's a really great YouTuber. You should go check her out. But like, you can always change your mind. Okay, like our thoughts, our feelings can evolve just as we do, just as our look do, just as our existence does in the context and all that. The rest. Do I have anything else to say? This was fun. This was cool. Like, I hope I wasn't just like babbling. Maybe I was kind of, sort of. And sometimes you need to babble. Sometimes you need to get shit out. But I guess in all that I'm trying to say is like, you can feel what you want to feel. Like this world is trying to make everything so black and white. It's not. It's allowed to be a little gray. It's allowed to be a little unexplainable. And you're allowed to exist in that for a while. Let it let yourself process how it's going before you move on to the next thing. That's all I'm saying. So if you enjoyed, do the liking, do the sharing. If you did not enjoy, dislike and share too. You are right to have your opinions. Let's have healthy but engaging conversations about all these things. I ultimately am open to discussions again. I love, but have the facts. Come ready to talk. Don't just be saying nonsense. Just know where your facts come from. That's all I ask. And I'm going to do my best, like check the bio for, is that the bio or the description for links and stuff about where I get my research from, how I do all, where I come up with my talking points. I just be talking, but like, I don't just be talking to talk. I know what I'm talking about sometimes. And if I don't, I check it out. That's all you can do, Be open to the facts. I get it. This time of, existence, there's not a lot of truth and that can be difficult. But we together have to work to find some sort of common ground and say, okay, this is what we know. And this is what I know. This is what I can offer to y'all. Here we go. Let the discussions begin. Thank you. Goodbye.